because this is my first time being an official mentor. So I've been going back and forth with Casey about what this speech is about and enjoying the journey, enjoying the development of this speech. What I learned about magic from Peter Pan on our fairy dust. Think lovely thought, Casey.
Thank you. Thank you, Roger. Sarah, can I move it just a little bit? Or I'll move it back a little bit. Is that okay? Because people can still see me. My name is Casey Hill. I'm a mom of 3, an educator, and this year I'm working on something called reframing. Do you guys remember the story of Peter Pan? He was a boy who never wanted to grow up. He would rather fight pirates than be an adult like us. When I was a child, I remember leaning towards the television. My heart was pounding. Tears were welling in my eyes. Peter Pan was pleading to me. Do you believe? Say you believe. Clap your hands. Do you believe? Clap your hands. Tinkerbell had just drank poison. She was dying, and I could clap my hands to revive Tinkerbell. When she revived, I didn't just believe fairies existed. I believed in belief itself. As an adult, I realized this scene wasn't about magic. It was about belief and the power of belief. Because adults, we get poisoned too. Doubt and fear disguised as realism. I have heard those stories. When I was 27, I bought a house. People said, "Are you sure? Aren't you supposed to get married first?" When I was 30, I was told I can't get pregnant. My doctor put me on medication. I believed that story for an entire year. Another doctor checked it and said the results were inconclusive and to get off the medication as soon as possible. A month later, I was pregnant. Then there was the story about debt, $200,000. You'll never pay that off. But my fiance, now husband, and I made a different plan. Small weddings, working 2 jobs, every extra dollar went to go pay that off. Shared purpose. Debt gone within 2 years. And I realized my turning points in my life wasn't when circumstances changed. It was when belief changed. We decided to go to the heart of magic, Disneyland, and the center of magic itself, Peter Pan's flight. I was sitting on the pirate ship with my children, expecting a nostalgic ride, but not a life lesson. Looking ahead, I could see Tinkerbell, and I was like, I clapped for you. I revived you. And I remember what she taught us about flying. Think lovely thoughts and a little bit of pixie dust. The bar drops in my lap, and the ship floats. Suddenly, you leave the nursery. Safety, predictability, what you've always known. Leaving the room of old beliefs. Bright, warm, comforting. And now, out the nursery window, you are entering darkness. Light of the old beliefs, reflecting on rooftops and streets. Big Ben is glowing in the middle. Time as the focal point of life. It was the same city we saw from the nursery window, only now we were above it. Same reality, different perspective, different frame. And then my son pointed down. He goes, "Mom, look, everything is so small." Exactly. Things look differently when you're above them. From the ground problems look enormous, but from perspective, things look manageable. And I thought about one of the hardest seasons of my life, holding my father's hand during COVID and doctors telling me he was dying. At ground level, it was crushing. But when I asked, what love is surrounding me, I saw a different picture. Some people disappeared. Others stood like lighthouses in the dark, helping me get home amongst the storm. Same reality, different frame. My dad, he came out of it, but my relationships with other people changed. Then our house flooded. We spent Thanksgiving in a hotel, and Christmas we were going to spend in a hotel, but we decided to go to Disneyland. And I asked myself, what if setbacks are not punishment? What if they're altitude training? Then the ride enters Neverland. Pirates, cannons, Captain Hook, danger. But Peter Pan doesn't see a threat. He sees adventure. Then comes the crocodile. Tick, tock, tick. Isn't that adulthood? The clock of age, regret, fear? But what if that clock is guiding you? What if gratitude became an action plan? Not just appreciating what brings joy, but creating more of it, repeating it, living it on purpose. I created a family motto when my oldest son was born. We are a team, always a team. We say it unloading groceries, we say it running late, facing hardships. And sometimes it means reframing in real time. One night after practice, my son was upset because his Chick-fil-A sandwich had gotten cold. I was tired and I was overwhelmed. And when he mentioned it a third time, I snapped. I reminded him how hard it was to get dinner there at all. Later, I sat down beside him and I said, "You deserve a hot meal." I handled that really poorly. And we came out with a better plan. That moment taught me belief isn't pretending everything will be perfect. It's choosing what story leads forward. Because I believe I am raising future leaders. And leaders learn from mistakes. And I am modeling what that means to believe. Believe that we can own our mistakes and use course correction to still be successful. Then the ride ends, the ship lowers, the bar lifts, and you step out. Strollers, crowds, reality. But the point of the ride was never to stay in fantasy. It was to return differently. Because belief doesn't deny reality, it gives reality meaning. Maybe that is what Peter Pan was teaching us all along. Not how to escape life, but how to see it differently. Maybe Neverland was never a place. Maybe it was a perspective. And maybe when Peter asked, "Do you believe?" he wasn't asking whether fairies existed. He was asking, "Do you believe a new story is possible?" My dream is to build an online business that someday supplements my income as an educator. But if I'm honest, there are a lot of Captain Hooks. Self-doubt, self-sabotage, and a ticking clock. Are you ready to walk the plank? Failure at its finest. Learning to be vulnerable. Try not to take things personally. I hope to fail faster and beat the clock. Because if belief could revive Tinkerbell, maybe it can revive something in us too.